If I met you for the first time tonight, I would love you.
Come on, Conrad. I mean, how do you know that?
Because I've changed everything about myself, and the one thing that never changes is that I love you.
Conrad, I choose you of my own free will. If there are infinite worlds, every version of me chooses you in every one of them.
If there's one thing Conrad left us with in this finale, it's that piece by piece, crumb by crumb, you eventually get the whole loaf. Just a couple of hours after the September 17th premiere, Jenny Han, alongside Amazon Prime, confirmed what everyone was hoping for. Yes, there will be a movie. Naturally, this made fans of The Summer I Turned pretty more than thrilled. The ending was bittersweet. We got redemption, peace, calm, drama, and love. Taylor is no longer the girl who runs away. Now she makes choices for love. It's fitting that she's standing by Steven as he embarks on a new journey, running the business he started with Denise, a character who at first was stern and serious, but by Christmas revealed a heart that's noble, sensitive, and intense. A heart that made Jeremiah start caring about others more than himself. Denise sees in Jer not just his good looks, but his potential, his playful spirit, and why not, even challenges Conrad's perfect image.
Your brother's pretty annoying.
And Conrad, well, he showed us that if you don't find an answer to love, you go out and look for it, even knowing there's a good chance it might break your heart. And Belly, well, for a moment she chose to blow everything up and walk away. But in the end, remembering who she truly is, pushed her back toward the one love that always has been and always will be, Conrad. Now, with the announcement of the movie, there's been a lot of speculation around one number in particular, 14. We all know Jenny Han doesn't do things by accident, and the series ended with a Christmas photo album set in Paris. Plus, there have been posts online hinting at an alternate ending where Conrad proposes to Belly in Paris. Maybe, just maybe, that's what we'll see in the movie. Some believe it might come out on the 14th. Either of December or February, but both dates fall on weekends, and Amazon has never released anything on that day. That's why there's also speculation that we might get the movie in 14 weeks, possibly right before Christmas, though that might not be the case either. There's really nothing to do but wait for the official date and hope it's not too far off. Because yes, Team Conrad won, just like in the books, but everything we saw between them over the past 3 seasons was all memory, not the present. The movie needs to give us that present. Their wedding, Susanna's letter that Belly never read, John and Laurel's relationship that feels unfinished, and Jer's new relationship, which in the book is present at Belly and Conrad's wedding. While we wait, here's a recap of the final season. Time has passed. Belly is now a student at Finch University, choosing to begin this new chapter with Jeremiah by her side. Just like in the book, her parents and Steven are there to support her, and Taylor has also enrolled at Finch. What hasn't changed is that Belly chose this school mainly to be with Jeremiah. When they arrive at the dorms, Belly finds out she'll be rooming with Jillian. While she deeply values her friendship with Taylor, she's relieved not to be living with her. It gives them both the space they need on campus. Since Susanna's death, Belly hasn't really made new friends, but Lauren tells her she's been in touch with Conrad, who seems to be dating someone new, Agnes, a character who in the books is one of Conrad's casual relationships. Laurel encourages Belly to stay open to new people and experiences, even if Jeremiah is in her life. College is a time to discover, grow, and explore. Fast forward 3 years, Belly and Jeremiah have built a strong, meaningful relationship filled with shared memories. It feels like they're meant to be after all, they've known each other forever. But a concern arises. Jeremiah is about to graduate and move to Boston, while Belly still has 1 year left at Finch. Still, summer will always belong to them. While discussing whether Jeremiah should work at his dad's company, they get a video call from Laurel, reminding them about the memorial speech they need to prepare for Susanna's garden ceremony. Meanwhile, Conrad has grown emotionally. He's been going to therapy, working through his anxiety, his strained relationship with his dad, and his issues with Jeremiah. He's learned to let go of his need to control everything, but as he thinks about returning to Cousins and giving the speech for his mom, he can't help but first remember Belly, because even after all this time, a part of him still loves her. Belly talks with Jeremiah about the injury that ended his sports career. He admits it was hard at first, but it led him to discover his passion for sports psychology, a field he's now fully committed to. Later, Jeremiah's frat brother Redbird shows up. Belly clearly doesn't like him. She says she doesn't hate the frat entirely, but there's just something off about it. She quickly changes the subject and leaves to study with Anika and Taylor. Steven, now a Princeton graduate, is working as an intern. Though he likes the job, he admits he doesn't love it, arguing that no one should be so in love with a job they give up their whole life for it. He also avoids socializing with coworkers because his free time is sacred. He saves it for Taylor. During an intimate moment between them, Belly arrives unexpectedly to study, interrupting them. Despite seeing each other often, Steven and Taylor aren't officially a couple. Taylor is currently dating a guy named Davis. Taylor wants something drama-free and commitment-light. Steven gives her that emotional stability with no strings attached while Davis is away. In the library, Anika, Taylor, and Belly are studying when Belly receives surprising news. She's been accepted into a one-year exchange program in Paris. She's thrilled, but also heartbroken over the thought of being away from Jeremiah for so long. She rushes to tell him but finds him upset. Jeremiah has just learned he won't graduate on time due to missed required classes. The silver lining for him is more time with Belly, unaware she was about to tell him she might leave. Belly decides not to say anything and instead tells him she walked in on Taylor nearly hooking up with her boyfriend. She recalls seeing pants that clearly belong to Steven, who is supposedly dating Mia. Still, Belly isn't surprised. It seems she's accepted Steven and Taylor's secret relationship. Jeremiah, too caught in his own disappointment, barely reacts. Seeing him like that, Belly makes a rash decision. She withdraws from the Paris exchange program. Later, Taylor finds Steven asleep in her bed. He says he couldn't leave the sorority house unnoticed due to the noise. Taylor, uneasy, tells him to go, but he insists on staying, hinting their connection is deeper than just something casual. The next morning, Steven brings Taylor breakfast and promises no one from his frat is around. It's the last Saturday of the semester, and as tradition, they plan to spend it together. Steven jokes about Taylor joining a sorority, but she explains she did it for future career connections. Steven then gets a message from Mia. Taylor tells him to leave, though it's clear he doesn't want to.
Come here.
Meanwhile, Conrad talks with Agnes, who was chosen for a prestigious internship working in palliative care, the same one he hoped for. Thinking he didn't get it, he's shocked when she tells him they both were accepted. Conrad is excited but tells her he needs time off to go to Cousins for the memorial garden. Agnes warns him that Dr. Namazi is known for firing interns on the spot if they miss anything. Conrad calls Laurel to share the news about his clinic job, which means he can't make it to the memorial. She understands but urges him to tell Jeremiah. She also says Susanna would be proud. Back at Finch, Belly and Jeremiah spend time together, but he's still discouraged about graduation. Davis makes a passive-aggressive comment that makes things worse. They join in on frat competitions to lift their spirits. During one, Conrad calls and Belly answers. The call is tense. It's clear neither of them has fully moved on. Later, Taylor introduces Belly to someone who studied in Paris. Belly admits she's unsure now about going. Taylor is frustrated, insisting Belly shouldn't give up her dream for a boy. That night, Belly and Jeremiah talk about Conrad, still assuming they'll give the speech together. Their talk is interrupted when Jeremiah's dad shows up furious. He has to pay $20,000 for the classes Jeremiah missed. He lashes out, praising Conrad and shaming Jeremiah. Jeremiah finally snaps, yelling that he's sorry he's not the perfect son. Crushed, Jeremiah tells Belly he needs to be alone and leaves her during dinner with Steven. Alone with Steven, Belly learns Jeremiah has always been impulsive and irresponsible, often making excuses, like the time he left for Cabo without telling anyone until the last minute. That fight, Steven says, was their real breaking point. He doesn't buy the whole Jeremiah is daylight image. Belly says it wasn't a breakup, just an argument. She accuses Steven of having no room to judge since he's been cheating on Mia with Taylor for 2 months. Steven admits it's wrong, but says they always find their way back to each other. Trying to change the topic, Steven asks if she told Jeremiah about Paris. She hasn't. Like Taylor, Steven urges her not to give up her dream. He reminds her that Susanna would be proud. That night, Taylor's mom confronts her about wearing Steven's hoodie, warning her not to become the other woman. Taylor insists it's casual, but the words sting. Later, Steven shows up, but Taylor ends it. She gives him a small gift as a symbolic goodbye.
Happy now?
Belly finally tells Jeremiah about Paris. He supports her and says she should go.
But Paris is your dream. And I want all of your dreams to come true.
His mature response leaves her confused. She starts to question whether she can handle being alone. Still, she chooses to move forward. At a party, she runs into Lashy, the girl who also studied in Paris. Jeremiah is visibly uncomfortable and drags Belly to dance, singing Nelly's Dilemma in an awkward, hypocritical mood.
Baby, I love you. I do.
Elsewhere, Conrad and Agnes celebrate their internship. Agnes asks if he's ever truly been in love. He says yes, a perfect 10. He briefly talks about Belly and realizes he's still in love with her. Motivated, he texts Jeremiah that he won't be coming to the memorial. At the party, Belly overhears girls talking about Jeremiah. They joke about how hot he is and mention a one-night stand in Cabo. Hurt, Belly confronts him. He insists they had broken up, but Belly reminds him it was just a fight. She begs him to be honest. Belly, devastated, says she never cheated, always stayed loyal, and now he's ruined everything. She can never trust him again. She runs off in tears as Taylor Swift's You're Losing Me plays, a perfect reflection of a relationship beyond repair where love just isn't enough anymore. And that confirms what was inevitable. No matter how much the marketing tried, Jeremiah is definitely not Daylight.
You're losing me.
We had sex.
Fuck you!
Look, it didn't mean anything to me.
In the second episode, Belly is consumed by sadness as she reflects on her time with Jeremiah in college, especially the day he decided, last minute and without consulting her, to go to Cabo. Belly called him out for making such a selfish decision, which sparked a pointless argument where Jeremiah, feeling attacked, said maybe they should just break up if she was gonna keep judging him. 5 days passed with no word from him. While Jeremiah enjoyed his trip, Belly was left in emotional limbo, wondering why he hadn't even called. Taylor, trying to lift her spirits, suggested a girls' trip to New York, and reminded her that knowing Jeremiah the way she does, she's sure Belly is still his everything. When Jeremiah finally came back, the first thing he said was that this time, he really messed up. Belly tried to downplay it, saying it was just another fight, not the end of the world. That's when Jeremiah asked if they could stay together, and Belly replied that, in her eyes, they'd never broken up. Those words shook him. The guilt hit hard, but instead of coming clean, he gave her a bracelet. Heartbroken and disappointed, Belly threw the bracelet away. The betrayal cut deep. She avoided Taylor, knowing she was friends with Lashy, which only worsened the pain. Eventually, Taylor and Jeremiah crossed paths. He told her Belly didn't want to talk to her either, blaming her, at least in part, for everything that happened. Taylor, hurt, told him she had always had his back and now regretted defending his relationship. Jeremiah lashed out, pointing out that she'd also been unfaithful, but Taylor pushed back, saying what she had with Steven wasn't comparable to what Jeremiah and Belly had. It had been something real. His words hit her harder than she let on. She ignored a call from Steven, who had just ended things with Mia. But still reeling from all the drama, Taylor chose not to respond to his messages. Later on, Belly confided in Anika that she couldn't bring herself to go back to Cousins or attend Susanna's memorial because she couldn't face Jeremiah. The truth was, he was everywhere, in the library, in Lassie, in the hallways, on every bench they once sat on, in every hug they'd ever shared. Every corner held a memory. On impulse, Belly decided the best thing was to leave for Paris as soon as possible. She asked Laurel for her birth certificate to renew her passport. Surprised, Laurel asked how Jeremiah had taken the news, but Belly couldn't bring herself to tell her the truth. He didn't know yet. Belly had started the paperwork for her exchange program in Paris. When she talked to Anika, her friend reminded her that even if Jeremiah thought they had broken up, it didn't justify what he did. He should have been honest. That conversation triggered a painful memory. Last Christmas, Belly went to Cousins just to avoid being alone. In a moment that mirrored a scene straight from the book, she was eating chocolates while watching Home Alone, wondering how Kevin would react to the strange noises. When she opened the door, there was Conrad.
Belly.
Later, Jeremiah ran into Belly and decided to come clean. He told her he had been drunk and sad in Cabo, and Lassie had been there. They slept together, twice. Belly, devastated, begged him not to keep any more secrets. Jeremiah swore he loved her, that he would never hurt her again. But even though she wished she could forgive him, the pain was overwhelming. That night, Steven picked up Taylor for dinner. Over the meal, he told her he'd ended things with Mia. Taylor, surprised, asked if he did it for her, making it clear she had always considered what they had to be casual, but Steven disagreed. What they had wasn't casual. They always ended up back together. Then he blurted it out. He loved her. The words rattled Taylor, and she got out of the car. They argued intensely, and in the heat of the moment, Steven got into a car accident. A panicked Taylor called Belly, feeling responsible. At the hospital, the doctor told them Steven had a fractured rib and a mild brain injury. While filling out the medical forms, Taylor took charge of contacting his family and Conrad. Conrad responded immediately. He promised to do everything in his power to help. He even spoke to his supervisor, pulling strings to ensure Steven got the best possible care. Soon after, Belly saw Jeremiah arrive at the hospital. Taylor told her he was just there in case he was needed. He wasn't planning to make a move. A doctor approached them to share that, thanks to a high-level referral, Steven's care would be fully covered. But that same day, Conrad was let go from his internship. Distracted, he had made a critical mistake during a blood test, something that could have endangered a patient's life. Later, in Steven's hospital room, Taylor sat beside him and, through tears, told him she had never loved anyone the way she loved him. She remembered the day they first got together, when he promised they'd always be there for each other. The next morning brought good news. Steven was going to be okay. Later that day, Belly finally got in touch with Laurel to let her know about Steven's accident. What she didn't realize was that their parents, in their worry, were now getting involved in their lives again, neglecting other important matters in the process. Belly got a text from Conrad asking if she was with Steven, and it pulled her straight back to a memory from last Christmas. Conrad had explained his flight got delayed due to a storm, and he'd be meeting up with his dad and Jeremiah on the 28th. Because of the cold, Conrad suggested lighting the fireplace, but that reminded them both of the first time they'd been together, and they quickly backed away from the idea. The next morning, Belly came down the stairs excitedly, only to trip and fall. Conrad lay down beside her on the floor, turning the mishap into something lighthearted. He helped her up and brought her to the couch, where Belly realized that no matter what, some part of her would always love Conrad. They spent that time together respecting each other's space, but also sharing small moments, eating, playing games, watching movies. When Jeremiah called, Belly didn't tell him she was with Conrad. The next morning, he left without saying goodbye, just leaving a note saying he was glad he saw her. Back in the present, Belly thanked Conrad for helping Steven. Still, Conrad was reeling from losing his internship. In a conversation with Agnes, she told him maybe it needed to happen. Maybe he wasn't in control of his emotions the way he thought. The next day, Steven was feeling a bit better. Taylor, hopeful, told him she had a lot to say, but Steven responded by saying maybe people were right, maybe they shouldn't be together. Her face fell. Outside, Belly told Jeremiah that Steven was okay. They picked up their conversation where it had left off. Jeremiah told her that if she could forgive him, he'd do everything he could to fix what they had. He didn't want to lose all that time and love they had built. Then he proposed.
Will you marry me?
After that proposal, Belly and Jeremiah seem to already be in their honeymoon phase. Belly tells him she needs to visit Taylor, who's been really down since everything that happened with Steven. Jeremiah says he just wants to be with her, but Belly assures him they'll have plenty of time together, especially once they talk to their parents and share the news. As Belly gets dressed to see Taylor, Jeremiah surprises her with a ring.
Will you marry me?
It's small, something he could barely afford, but to Belly, it makes everything feel real. She's so excited, Jeremiah ends up shouting it to his frat brothers.
Gonna be such a hot wife. I cannot wait to marry this.
Later, Belly meets up with Taylor, who is visibly heartbroken after Steven. She tells Belly that love is a lie, and even if Steven tried to make things right, she wouldn't take him back. Belly admits they haven't had a chance to talk to him.
I'm over his dumbass. At this point, he could come crawling on the floor, begging on his knees, asking for me back, and I wouldn't care.
While they have breakfast, Belly can't hold it in anymore and tells her she and Jerry are engaged. Taylor is skeptical, but Belly insists the accident made her realize she wants to be with him. Taylor replies that all they needed was to make up, not jump into an engagement. It just feels rushed.
Jeremiah made a mistake, but it's not bigger than what we are to each other.
Meanwhile, we see Steven talking to Denise about continuing to work remotely. She tells him to rest and take advantage of the fact that he got the job thanks to family connections. When Laurel walks in and sees Steven not resting, she admits one of her biggest regrets is not being there for him when he nearly died.
Take your recovery seriously, or I'll kill you myself.
As for Conrad, there's a clear sense of progress. Therapy is helping even though he recently lost his job. He's still jogging with Agnes in the mornings, and they talk about how hard it's been for him. Conrad mentions there's an opening at a lab. He regrets not working with patients, but for now it's best to keep his distance. Agnes offers to recommend him. Back on campus, Belly is packing up her dorm while chatting with Anika. They won't see each other for a whole year. Anika is off to Paris. Belly thanks her for being one of her closest new friends. Because she values her opinion, she asks if going back to Jer was the right choice. Anika gently tells her that her opinion is the only one that truly matters. With a bittersweet feeling, Belly reflects on everything she's leaving behind while still technically single, because by the time she returns for senior year, she'll be a married woman. Driving with her dad, Belly can hardly contain herself. She wants to blurt out that she's engaged, but it's not the right moment. Instead, she brings up her parents' marriage, noting that the song playing is one they used to dance to. John, who has his own secret, he and Laurel haven't officially reconciled, mentions they used to dance to lots of songs. He brings up Steven and how hard it was to get those texts that day, hiding from Belly that he was actually with Laurel. He changes the subject, saying he was relieved to know she wasn't alone through everything. When they get home, Laurel greets them but tells John to leave. She has no intention of repeating what happened between them. John says he's around to see Steven and that he doesn't feel guilty about that night. Laurel makes it clear she doesn't want to send the wrong message. They're divorced and dragging past drama into their kids' lives, even as adults, is something she wants to avoid. John tells her he suspects Belly knows something, though probably not what they think, because Belly has her own secret. To avoid tension, John says he'll keep his distance and skip Susanna's memorial. Laurel seems slightly disappointed. Upstairs, Belly lies on Steven's bed to check on him. He says he's doing better and sees the accident as a wake-up call to focus on his career. Belly tells him Taylor is still hurting and still in love with him. Steven admits things with Taylor are complicated, but maybe the accident happened so he'd finally start making real choices about his life. Belly doesn't push further. She just takes his laptop and makes him rest.
Belly! Oh my god, his computer!
Dad, help!
Wow, didn't your mom say no screams?
John later tells Steven he'll talk to Adam and ask him to stop bothering him at work, even if he's technically the boss. Steven says he doesn't want special treatment, he just wants to work and stay focused. He's clearly trying not to think about Taylor, who's now back home with her mom for the summer. Lucinda, very Lorelai Gilmore-esque, tells Taylor she bought a new TV so they can binge-watch shows together all summer since Taylor's single again. Lucinda encourages her not to take Steven's words at face value. She tells Taylor to fight for her love. He's the only one who's truly been worth it, and it's clear she still believes Steven deserves her.
He's the only boy you've ever dated who is even remotely worthy of you. So don't let him go that easy.
The next morning, Jerry and Belly talk about the speech for the memorial. The conversation shifts to Conrad and whether they should tell him about the engagement. Belly says that should be something Jerry handles with his brother. She's more worried about how their parents will react. Jared tries to call Conrad, but he keeps avoiding him. Instead, Conrad has breakfast with Agnes, who talks about how much she loves working at the hospital. Conrad mentions he'll be having lunch with his aunt instead of attending his mom's memorial. Agnes encourages him to go. His internship is over, so there's no reason not to. But Conrad says it's best if he stays away, clearly because of Belly. The next day, Taylor visits Belly to apologize for how she reacted over breakfast. She promises to support her no matter what. Excited, Belly shows her the small engagement ring. Then she asks her to be her maid of honor. Taylor lights up, pulls out her old dream wedding collage, and promises to help make the wedding perfect and to stand by her when she breaks the news to their parents. Before leaving, Taylor talks to Steven, hoping to reconnect. It's obvious Steven still has feelings for her, but he decides to keep his distance. Sad, Taylor goes home and tells her mom she feels like a failure. Lucinda, ever direct, calls Steven to check in and talk finances. She asks him to look over her small business's books, and even suggests he bring it up to Taylor. Later, Laurel and Belly sort through old photos for the memorial mural, both emotional about Susanna not being there to see them grow up and share life's big moments. The next morning, Belly gets ready for the big day in a blue dress, with even a blue band-aid. Playing in the background is Please 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 by Sabrina Carpenter, a song begging a partner not to mess up, especially with a bad reputation. It's a clear reference to Jerry's past betrayal. Belly puts on her ring, brushing everything else aside, convinced she's living her fairy tale, but she tucks it away until they can share the news publicly. Meanwhile, Steven tells Taylor that her mom's business is in serious trouble. She's furious that Lucinda involved him in something so personal. He says he just wanted to help. Later, Laurel, Belly, and Steven prepare to head back to Cousins. Belly tells Jerry she's wearing the ring but can't show it yet, and that her dad won't be there when they announce it. When the garden ceremony begins, it's Jeremiah who ends up giving the speech.
My mom believed family wasn't just about blood. She believed family grew throughout your life.
Afterward, Belly tells him how proud she is to be his fiancé. They even talk about wedding flowers, but it all falls apart the moment she sees Conrad arrive. Turns out he was there for the speech too, just unnoticed.
Honey, really glad to have his little sister around again. How you been, little sis?
In the car, Jeremiah grows distant. He didn't like seeing Conrad hug Belly, but he lies, saying he's just nervous about telling people they're engaged. He even suggests they should start by telling Conrad. Things are tense between Taylor and her mom, too. Lucinda's ex took advantage of the business and stole all the money. Taylor's furious that Steven got pulled into it. Lucinda says she'll fix it with a loan from her mom. Taylor says they'll handle it together. She's not leaving her mom alone. While they're sorting through all that, Conrad and Steven talk jobs. Steven doesn't feel right working under Adam. It's weird since he's known him forever. Conrad tells him it's something to be proud of. He admits he hasn't done much with his own life. Steven thanks him for making that call to help him get into the hospital, though it's clear things are still tense between them. At dinner, the tension only grows. Conrad can't take his eyes off Belly, who's still wrapping her head around being engaged. Laurel stays focused on the memorial, and Adam tries to lighten the mood by proposing a toast for Susanna. Laurel and Adam each say a few words about Steven's strength, Conrad's future as a doctor, Belly's resilience, and Jeremiah, well, he's almost done with school.
Fingers crossed, only one more semester till the diploma, and then I guess we'll see.
Trying to ease the tension, Belly blurts out they're getting married in August. The news stuns everyone. Adam, furious, accuses Jeremiah of getting her pregnant. Conrad says nothing, just watches. Adam tells him he won't get Susanna's ring, but Jerry says they don't need it. He bought one himself. Steven lashes out at Conrad, but honestly, everyone's in shock. Laurel ends the dinner, and Belly storms out. She and Jerry talk things through. Despite their parents being upset, they decide to go through with the engagement. Laurel tells Belly they're leaving Cousins. The summer's already ruined. Jerry tells her to go ahead so he can deal with his dad and Conrad, who watches everyone leave, heartbroken, knowing this time he really did lose Belly for good. It's a defining episode for what's ahead. In the book, Belly's challenge to prove to her family that Jerry is the one will cost her more than she expected, including her bond with the Fisher brothers. And honestly, at this point, I'm way more invested in seeing Steven and Taylor get back together than watching Belly spiral with Jeremiah. That night, after the blow-up at the dinner, Belly retreats to her bedroom to talk with Jeremiah on her birthday. We learn Jer has started working at his father's company, where he's constantly mocked as a nepo baby. Belly's also serving tables, just like in the book. Excitedly, she tells him how much she's made so far, and his first reaction is, "So you're buying dinner."
Don't forget Richard.
Wow, drinks on the birthday girl.
That's because once Laurel offered to pick up the bill, Adam and Jer ordered the most expensive dishes.
Lunch is on me. No arguments, Adam.
In that case, I'm gonna get the surf and turf. Thank you.
Oh, same. Thank you.
Belly replies she won't be covering it. Every penny is going straight into the wedding savings. Jerry says he admires her hustle. She's on her feet all day while he's comfortably seated doing nothing to help. "You're showing your dad you can handle being a responsible adult," he says. He adds that he's still trying to talk to Adam about the wedding. Belly, however, hasn't made any progress. She's planning to start trying on wedding dresses soon, but Laurel is still adamant she won't approve the marriage. Steven isn't on her side either. Jer insists that eventually everyone will come around. Family will accept it. They'll be a united family. 2 weeks have passed since they announced it, and only 6 weeks remain until the wedding. At breakfast, Belly's parents have prepared a meal and gifted her a bottle of wine from the year she was born. Belly wants to share it with Jeremiah, but they don't seem on board. She expects that Laurel, after this gesture, would agree to go dress shopping with her, only to hear again that she's too young. Angry, Belly storms off to work. Laurel repeats that Belly Sip's making a grave mistake. John calls her stubborn, insists she sits fixated on wedding plans, but adds that they were the same age when they got married. Laurel, clearly upset, snaps. "Don said turn this against me." Meanwhile, Jeremiah presses his father, who reminds him that if he sits going to support a wife, he needs a job. Instead of a thoughtful response, Jer says,
Yeah, well, I mean, Belly's favorite food is shin ramen, so I think we were gonna be good either way.
Feeling cheeky, he asks Adam if he'll be bringing a date to the wedding. But Adam, seeing Jer's immaturity, swiftly changes the topic and reminds him if he's ordered catering, reminding him of his responsibilities. Outside at the workplace, Kaylee briefs the team, including Denise and Steven, on their tasks. After the meeting, Denise mocks Jeremiah for being the boss's son. Kaylee oddly finds Jeremiah attractive and is annoyed by Denise's comment when she tells Kaylee to make the snacks herself. Denise shoots back that it's Jeremiah's job to do it. Later, Jeremiah confides in Steven that he feels humiliated, but knows if he shows anger, it'll only make things worse. Steven talks to Denise, with whom he seems to share an odd connection, asking her to go easy on Jer. She's clear the Nepo baby could fire them any day just because of who his father is, and she's earned her place. That conversation hints at a possible enemies to lovers arc, and maybe sparks of jealousy with Taylor, but let's not rush ahead. Meanwhile, Taylor is at home with her mom, trying to fix the financial wreckage of the salon. Lucinda is more concerned with wearing her revenge dress to a bar, where Scott's friends hang, making him see what he's missing. But Taylor, aware of their dwindling finances, insists they need focus. Lucinda worries they should just talk to Scott, but Taylor reminds her they don't need a man to solve their problems. Their first step is closing the salon, stopping rent and extortion fees, and shifting to working from home. Reducing overhead cuts the debt. Taylor says they might even have everything sorted before she leaves for New York. Just then, Belly calls Taylor, asking her to help shop for wedding dresses. Lucinda, thrilled, says they'll both go. Steven and Denise watch from afar as Adam calls Jeremiah, asking about an acquisition Adam's pursuing. Jeremiah tells Steven his father is an idiot for rejecting the wedding and ignoring him. Steven responds firmly, maybe if they'd waited 10 years, things would be different. He's not against the idea. He calls Jeremiah a brother. At that moment, Jeremiah asks Steven to be his best man. Steven excitedly agrees and promises an epic bachelor party in Las Vegas, telling him not to tell his mother.
This is once in a lifetime, man. We gotta go big. Vegas.
So you're in.
Taylor and Belly head to discount bridal shops, searching for a simple white gown. Belly is grateful Lucinda's there to help, a motherly presence while dress shopping is priceless. When they find the gown, Taylor is thrilled. But at checkout, Belly reminds everyone she has a double shift and so they can't celebrate yet. Leaving the store, she laments that her mother isn't there to support her. That sets when Jeremiah calls to say he's chosen his best man, and without hesitation, Belly says, "Conrad?"
You finally talked to Conrad?
No.
He replies, "No, it sets Steven." Belly's heart sinks as it hits her. No one's changed their mind. She wonders how she can go through with this wedding without her mother and without Susanna's memory. Back at Taylor's house, Lucinda keeps insisting she should reach out to Scott even though she knows he's no good. She craves companionship, but Taylor stands firm. She doesn't need him. She isn't worth settling for. That night, Jeremiah shows up with cake, flowers, and a small beach house key, because with him, everything is small. The ring, the cake, now the house. Belly thanks him for the flowers, but Jerry says they're meant for Laurel. He wants to talk. He tells her Belly is the love of his life. He felt inferior after Susanna's death, and that's why he wants Belly forever. He reminds her that Susanna always put family first. Laurel retorts no one can know what Susanna would have thought, and that angers Belly. She's more headstrong and reckless than Jeremiah. She insists they marry. Laurel counters. The proposal came right after Steven's accident, when emotions were fragile, because she doesn't know Jerry cheated on Belly twice, and that the proposal had nothing to do with the accident. Laurel asks them to finish their studies and think things through. She makes it clear she doesn't support the wedding. Belly follows her and yells, if you want sit, accept it. I sit to leave this house and live with Jeremiah. The next morning, Belly and Jeremiah wake up on the couch. Belly wakes first and sees Conrad. The moment brings back memories of that Christmas. They both clearly feel something. Conrad steps forward, but seeing Jeremiah awake, he holds back. They tell Conrad they're planning the wedding. Conrad, diplomatic and obviously in therapy, agrees to talk with Jer after his morning run. He'll stay until he can book a flight. Jeremiah must go to work. Belly considers going home, but Jer urges her not to, saying that if she leaves, she validates Laurel's argument. Meanwhile, Agnes has helped Belly land the job she wanted, which clears hurdles for her plans. But then Jeremiah asks for 5 minutes to surf. We know this scene from the book. It feels more emotionally connected to him than the previous seasons. They talk about Laurel, still furious, and Jeremiah asks Conrad to be best man. Conrad says Adam and Laurel never agree. If they're on board now, something's strange. They both admit quickly marrying is ridiculous. Frustrated, Jeremiah tells Belly what Conrad said. She responds by teasing Conrad like a school kid.
He's some big grown-up at Stanford Medical School.
Not wanting to stay in the house with Conrad around, Belly messages John, reminding him he still needs to walk her down the aisle. She also tells him she's planning to go to Philadelphia with Jeremiah. Then Conrad shows up and says he didn't mean to call their relationship ridiculous, but Belly's already upset. Later, John talks with Laurel about the wedding and why Belly left home. He admits he always knew how stubborn she is, but says at least they should stand by their daughter on her wedding day, because making mistakes is part of life. Laurel tells John that her mistake wasn't marrying him, it was doing it so young. She doesn't want that for Belly. John insists, I will be at her wedding. At Cousins, Belly and Jer are watching movies at the pool, unseen by Conrad, who's listening. He's bought a plane ticket because he can't bear watching what he can't control. Elsewhere, Steven and Denise discuss Adam's poor decisions, and again their chemistry is noticeable. When Belly and Jerry say goodbye, she questions her upcoming Paris internship. She doesn't want to leave him. She decides not to go. Jeremiah says he knows he doesn't want her far away. For him, feelings matter more than long-term plans. But mistakes aren't theirs alone. Steven calls Taylor to share worse news. Scott took out loans in Lucinda's name. If they want to save the business, they need to pay $10,000. Steven offers to cover half, but Taylor refuses. Belly, overwhelmed, sees her mother's debutante dress and is hit by memories of Susanna redecorating her bedroom. She remembers that night when boys tried to scare her and she begged her mother not to sleep alone. Those memories bring her to tears. Conrad hears her and knows, however much it hurts, Belly isn't his place anymore. Meanwhile, Taylor tells Lucinda she won't go to New York. She'll stay and help. She'll use her internship money. Lucinda says she didn't have to do it, but Taylor insists they need each other. She'll always be there. Lucinda promises she'll repay the money. When Belly wakes, Jeremiah tells her Conrad changed his mind. He'll be her best man. Belly rushes to see him, and he says he's happy they found happiness. And in a closing emotional moment where everyone can see that the endgame is Conrad, Belly's stunned to find he baked muffins for her. He says they're a belated birthday surprise and embraces her. You feel their connection in that moment. He knows staying was a mistake, but it's too late now. At that exact moment, Halley's Comet by Billie Eilish plays between them, a song capturing the conflicted feelings of loving someone unattainable, the internal struggle of not wanting to fall in love when it's already too late. In the morning, Belly wakes up next to Jeremiah at Adam's house, where Adam already looks less than thrilled to see them.
Morning.
He even tells Jer that Belly's been messing with his coffee machine settings and leaving hair in the bathroom. Sure, he gave them permission to stay, but it's been 2 weeks, and it's clear Adam's patience is wearing thin.
She could stay as long as she wanted.
Yeah, but it's been 2 weeks, Cher.
What am I supposed to do?
Well,
kick her out?
Hey.
Oh, hey.
When Belly joins them, she tells Adam they're planning to find a new apartment. Just thinking about not living there anymore, Belly decides to give Jeremiah the day off.
He hates me being here, doesn't he?
No. Yeah, although it could be a little neater. But who cares what he thinks, okay?
No. He's right. I should go back tonight.
Later, they tour a building with an apartment that fits their budget. Small but cozy, with only one rule: no parties.
Oh, no. We're not party people. We mostly just study quietly.
The agent says if their payments are current, the rental process will be straightforward. Belly's fine on that front. She's responsible with her credit, but Jeremiah isn't, which became obvious when he almost splurged $750 on a cake.
Remember I signed up for it to get the free Bruins tickets?
Once the agent realizes they're not exactly reliable, he turns them away. Belly understands they don't stand a chance, while Jer's already thinking about asking his dad to pay off his cards or co-sign the lease. Because of Jer's poor credit,
We could get my dad to co-sign.
No. We need to do this by ourselves because if your dad helps, then he has a say in everything, so.
they start looking at other options, but they're all terrible. Rodents, cramped spaces, trash everywhere, and in the last one, the smell of cat urine. Jer insists they can fix that with air fresheners, which sets Belly off. She can tell he's not taking this seriously. All he cares about is getting to his meeting and showing off to his father. He wants to decide quickly, since they'll only be there for 6 months anyway. No longer feeling welcome at Adams.
I don't want to sign a lease just because you're in a rush.
Yeah, I'm in a rush because I need to make my dad's meeting.
Okay, well, your dad said they don't even need you there, so.
Yeah, and I'm busting my ass to prove him wrong.
Okay, Jared, but this is important too.
And with Jeremiah more focused on impressing his dad, Belly heads back to Cousins with Conrad. The next day, we see Belly in the red dress from the trailer, arriving at the club and remembering the year she was a debutante, once again making plans on her own.
Feels like suddenly the ball is rolling and everything is just happening without us.
What do you mean?
It's getting so big, Jer. I mean, Paige said that we're gonna need 4 bartenders. 4. 2 weeks ago, we were just gonna get a keg.
It's her wedding day. It's only happening once.
Later, she talks to Jeremiah about having doubts over such a big wedding. She doesn't want 4 waiters, 100 guests, and all the over-the-top grandeur. Jer once again manipulates her, telling her to focus on him, not the people, on their wedding day. At the office, Denise and Steven seem more in sync, something Jeremiah notices. Denise says she'll be at the wedding. She's not about to miss the chance to mingle with the partners. Jer says he's not lifting a finger for the wedding since the partners are handling it, including Kale, his father's mistress. On the way to the meeting, Denise asks Steven out, and the chemistry between them is obvious, but he turns her down. He has to attend Belly's bachelorette party. Back in Cousins,
Never mind, that sounds fun. I'll catch you later, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Belly returns to find Conrad still fixing things around the house, and as usual, cooking for her. Chicken, which is definitely a step up from ramen. Later, Belly talks with Taylor about the party, complaining that Laurel still refuses to attend. This frustrates Taylor, who sees Laurel as overprotective, irrational, and sabotaging her own daughter's wedding. The only person who'll be there is Steven, driving hours from Boston, though Lucinda convinces Belly he's doing it for her.
No boy drives 5 hours to be the only guy at his sister's bridal shower.
With Conrad, she checks the fridge and notices she hasn't eaten, so he sends a message. At the same time, Jeremiah sees Kale flirting with his father. He pretends not to notice.
We couldn't do it without you.
Right, yeah, thank you for setting that up.
We later learn the message was for Laurel, whom Conrad meets to talk about Belly and to convince her to attend the wedding. Laurel, who knows the family inside out, doesn't need him to explain. She already understands what's going on.
I'm pretty sure Steven's agreed to be Jared's groomsman, only he's too chicken shit to tell me. Adam's footing the bill. Taylor's the wedding planner.
Not anymore. Dad asked the woman that he cheated on Mom with to take over.
Kaylee? You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Furious that Kale will be planning the wedding, Conrad admits he kept that secret. He asks her again to get involved, reminding her that Belly needs her and that she'll regret it for the rest of her life if she doesn't go. Laurel asks why he cares, and he simply says he just wants them to be happy. The next day, Denise visits Steven to say she wants to start her own company, convinced they're talented enough in the video game industry to make it work.
I love a challenge, and I know you do too.
Meanwhile, Belly arrives at Taylor's, where the place is already decorated for the party, with everyone from neighbors to her debutante friends. Still, all she really cares about is whether her mother will come, and that's thanks to Conrad, who's trying on his suit with Adam and Jeremiah. They even look alike, not just father and son, but people who understand each other, hinting that Jer might not make the best husband, though Adam's more focused on Conrad.
Looking sharp. Look at this. Look at this.
At the party, Belly opens gifts, and one makes her uneasy. Postcards with the Fisher last name.
I guess I figured I would keep my name, like my mom did.
Laurel's clearly uncomfortable too, especially with Lucinda's gift, which Steven accidentally sees after arriving late from being with Denise.
Shit, oh my god, my eyes, why would you?
With the Fishers, Jeremiah asks Conrad if he's bringing a date to the wedding. Conrad makes it clear he'll only be there briefly before heading back to California. Adam tells them he's going with someone, his partner, Kale. Jer says whatever makes him happy, but Conrad, who knows the truth, is far from comfortable.
Scaly.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
At the party, everything's cheerful, photos, games, until they talk about Jer's first pet, a dog Belly thought he found on the beach. Steven reveals it wasn't Jer, but Conrad, which angers Belly and makes her question her own memories.
Hold up. The winning point should go to me. No, Conrad found Rosie, not Jared.
No, Jared definitely found Rosie, and you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Taylor comforts her, saying she and Jeremiah are lucky to have each other, something not many people get.
I was apartment hunting with Jared the other day, and I realized, I was standing there, and I realized that I've been so focused on planning this wedding that I almost forgot that I'm gonna be someone's wife.
Back with the Fishers, Adam asks Conrad if he's still in med school, since Jer told him he seems happier being his own handyman. Frustrated by the official news about Kale, Conrad admits he was fired, and that's why he hasn't returned to Stanford. Meanwhile, Taylor talks with Steven, realizing he and Denise would make a good couple, even if they aren't one. Steven says it's better to keep their distance. When they broke up, it was hard, and he missed her. Taylor says they can be friends, though it's clear that's not what she wants.
What? That's so stupid.
Before leaving early, Laurel gives Belly her passport, knowing she won't be going to Paris, and also hands her 2 gift cards for when she decides to leave with Jeremiah. Belly tells her she's staying over, meaning the 3 of them will officially be together again for the first time in a while. Excited, Belly calls Jeremiah to say she's ready for the wedding. She tells him about the party game and that she remembers the dog story.
No, it was Conrad.
Shut up.
No, seriously.
Confirming that it was Conrad who found it and cried over it. Belly is left confused, wondering if she's making the right choices.
I've known Jeremiah my whole life. I know everything about him. I've always prided myself on how I remember every little detail. So it scares me to think I got this one wrong.
When the Fishers leave the restaurant, Jer wants to head back to Belly, but Adam suggests they spend the day together and meet some business partners. Later, Belly and Laurel reminisce about watching movies together and the time she sang to Conrad, but now, her future is with Jeremiah.
I loved him in a way that you can only really do the first time around. Completely. With every bit of your being. Without even leaving anything for yourself.
At Taylor's, she's scrolling through Denise's social media, clearly jealous, until Lucinda tells her to call him. The next day, Belly returns to Cousins, once again catching sight of Conrad's sculpted physique. Later, while sending thank you notes, she sees Conrad injured and panics at the amount of blood on the floor. And of course, we get a song from Taylor Swift's Lover album. False God, a track about an intense, almost religious kind of love, set in a dangerous, imperfect space. The lyrics describe a relationship that, despite knowing its flaws, clings to passion and physical connection as a form of devotion, and that's exactly what we see between these two. Belly tending to Conrad's knee, with him holding on to her from the pain. The chemistry between them is nearly perfect, leaving Belly breathless and realizing this moment is nothing like the one with the peaches. It all begins with Belly admitting that things with Conrad are tense, though there's still a small connection between them. Even while Juno by Sabrina Carpenter plays in the background, Belly wonders if what happened in the bathroom was because she's been planning the entire wedding on her own. Right then, Conrad has a minor accident with the wiring, determined to have everything ready before the guests arrive.
Yeah, I was trying to fix the light before everyone got here. But
All of a sudden, he can't stop injuring himself.
Looked a lot easier on YouTube.
Meanwhile, at the office with Steven, the chemistry with Denise is obvious, and a lot could happen if she shows up at the wedding, especially since Taylor will also be there.
Hottest, youngest ones here. We're stuck here? Come on, make it make sense, you know?
Hottest.
Back in Cousins, Jer shows up with a pile of junk food and some cigarettes to ease the stress, exhausted from working too much.
I've been busting my ass all summer, and I just want to let loose.
Okay, as long as you're not stoned at the altar.
On the other hand, Laurel and John arrive at the hotel. The wedding is only 2 days away. Everything seems to be going fine until Laurel sees Kaylee, Adam's mistress, who also happens to be organizing the entire wedding.
I should thank you for helping with the wedding.
Someone had to.
The kids, however, are caught up in their bachelor and bachelorette parties. Belly is with Taylor and Anika, while Jer is surrounded by his fraternity friends, including his ex. From the very start, Jeremiah tries to introduce Conrad to Anika.
Conrad, Annika, my brother. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
She's clearly looking for some action, and while Belly insists she doesn't mind if they hit it off, Taylor discreetly advises her against it.
Oh, no, you should do it.
Later, Denise and Steven arrive. When Taylor sees them, she pretends not to care, and even tells Steven that if he wanted to hook up with her, she'd help him since they're friends now.
I'd be honored to be.
All right, all right.
All right, Taylor.
But before that, they have to rehearse the wedding dance. The girl's number is set to a Blackpink song, Sexy and Confident, while the boy's routine is a mess. Poor Conrad has 2 left feet, crashes, and hurts himself, though Steven ends up impressing Denise with his moves.
Panties dropped significantly.
At that moment, Jeremiah tells Conrad that his dad offered him a full-time job. Conrad replies that he can do better than just following in his father's footsteps, but Jeremiah argues that love is enough to live on.
I don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm 21. I just know I want to be with Belly.
No, totally. It's just...
What frustrates Conrad most is Jer's out-of-control friends, who mess with Belly's flower arrangements. Belly starts cleaning up, and Conrad steps in to help, something Jeremiah notices, and of course it bothers him.
Hey, guys.
That night, before the party, Jer and Belly sleep together. Belly doesn't look entirely comfortable, but Jeremiah pushes.
I have to finish doing my hair.
And it turns into a quick pre-party hookup. They talk about how they'll end the night. Belly says the beach, Jer says the pool.
I was thinking the beach.
Yeah, the beach. Right, the beach is good. It's a date.
Once they head out to the bars, Belly sticks with the girls, who just want her to have fun, while Jeremiah gets more immature and rowdy by the minute. Feeling emotional, Belly thanks Taylor for convincing Laurel about the wedding, but Taylor admits she never did. That makes Belly think it must have been Conrad. She recalls how he's always been there for her, remembering when they were kids and she wanted to break away from the group to explore a crystal shop. Playing in the background is Robin from the Tortured Poets Department, a song about innocence, growth, and protection, all qualities Conrad embodies. A song that celebrates when life was simpler. When Belly looks at him, Jeremiah notices, but pretends the look was for him. His friends drag him into the bar, and Belly gets a chance to talk with Conrad about her conversation with her mother. Conrad's words move her, but they're interrupted by Denise and Steven. Taylor takes the chance to whisk Denise away, and Anika realizes she may have done it to keep Denise from getting closer to Steven. Meanwhile, the boys are already drunk. Jer tells Conrad he doesn't need his protection anymore, because now he has Belly to take care of him.
Yeah, of course.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you both.
At the girls' bar, Taylor talks to Denise, who's surprisingly sweet. She tells Taylor that Steven puts her on a pedestal, but Taylor's pride kicks in. She tells Denise to go after Steven because clearly they like each other. When Steven gets the message, he doesn't hesitate to leave with her. Conveniently, at that moment, Redbird, annoying as always, blurts out the secret about the cheating, and Conrad overhears it. In the background, We Can't Be Friends by Ariana Grande plays, a song that perfectly captures how Belly and Conrad can't just be friends or in-laws. Their bond is far too strong for that. This pushes Belly to confess the truth to Taylor. This isn't the wedding of her dreams. It's not what she wants, and Conrad has been in her life for too long. Back at the house, Jeremiah is completely drunk and forgets about Belly altogether. Taylor, stressed, talks to her mom and admits that nothing will ever happen between her and Steven.
It's like needy and cling on to people, and I'm sorry, it's pathetic. I don't want to be like that.
She'd rather keep things that way. She values her independence. When Belly reaches the beach, it's Conrad waiting for her. They don't need to plan it. Their minds are in sync, and the beach is their safe place. They talk about Jer's cheating, but Belly brushes it off as a small mistake, saying she went through worse with Conrad. He tells her that through it all,
Knowing is one thing, but you're defending him. Why?
Well, it's not really your business. So.
It is my business because that piece of shit is my brother, and you're...
At least he never cheated. Angry, Belly tells Conrad to stay out of her business. That's when he breaks and confesses that he loves her and has never stopped. Belly's response is far harsher than he ever imagined.
You will never be what Jer is to me. He's my best friend, and he loves me no matter what. And he doesn't take it away when things get hard.
Conrad insists he can't help it. He loves her, and though he loves his brother too, he hates seeing him with her. His heart shatters with Belly's words as he realizes their love won't last. Belly breaks too, suffering in silence. Elsewhere, Steven and Denise make plans to head to the room, but their kiss is interrupted by a completely wasted Lucinda, who tells Steven she only wants Taylor to be happy. Back home, Belly finds Jeremiah drunk out of his mind. Stumbling into bed with Taylor, Belly knows he left her hanging, and in tears, she stays silent. In the background, LOML by Taylor Swift plays, a song with more than one meaning, loss of my life or love of my life. Conrad, devastated, loses the love of his life, and Belly, just 2 days away from the wedding, realizes she might be losing something more than just love. That morning, Belly listens to a voice note from Jeremiah, who went fishing with the guys. She's completely shattered, barely able to think, and wakes up alone because Taylor went out for a run. After a shower, she runs into Conrad, who stayed behind because he thought, after what happened the night before, going with Jeremiah wouldn't have been right. He excuses himself, saying he was drunk enough to spill everything he said.
You weren't drunk.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my God, you haven't changed at all. You bring all this up the weekend of my wedding?
Belly gets angry, calling him out for always dropping emotional bombs and then disappearing. She tells him to stay away from her, and especially from Jeremiah, because he's his brother. Hurt, she accuses him of having no heart, but Conrad fires back that it's actually her who doesn't. After opening himself up, he realized she had always known how deeply he felt for her. Belly denies it, saying they only went out when she was in high school, but it never meant anything more.
You shut me down, and now here I am, trying to let you off the hook, trying to come out of this with a little piece of pride, and you won't let me have that.
Conrad insists there was always something between them. Christmas, the day they went flower hunting, the time he cut his hand. Belly denies it all. Scared of what he's just confessed, Conrad storms out, leaving her alone. Deep down, she knows she can't let him go. She goes to her closet, grabs the teddy bear, and finds the infinity necklace hidden inside. Outside, Taylor crosses paths with Conrad. She knows what went down because she saw Belly broken the whole night. With cutting irony, she tells him that if he's hoping Belly will run away with him, it won't happen. Conrad admits that's exactly what he hopes for, but also says he can't force her. Taylor warns him that if he pushes just enough, Belly might actually leave everything behind for him.
It's not like I just suddenly remembered that she existed, Taylor. It's that I never forgot. Ever. Not for a second. And I don't know, she can try and push it down all she wants, but I don't think she forgot either.
At the spa, Belly tells Taylor she needs to talk to Jeremiah and wants nothing to do with Conrad. Taylor says she talked to him and knows he's still in love with Belly, even if he'll never admit it in front of everyone. Later at the rehearsal, Laurel and John are among the first to arrive. Laurel gives Belly some heartfelt advice that makes her pause and reflect.
Why, are you gonna try to talk me out of it one last time?
Nope. I'm all in. You know what's best for you.
Enough that, when she sees Conrad, everything seems to freeze, though she quickly turns to Jeremiah, trying to convince herself she's making the right choice. When the rehearsal starts, Conrad is stone-faced, furious. The wedding feels more real than he ever imagined, and Jeremiah seems to be starting to sense it too. The air gets tense as Belly walks toward the altar. Conrad is the only one who looks devastated, faking it through dinner, even drinking, because nothing matters anymore. At dinner, Taylor is hurting too. She talks to Lucinda and apologizes for her harsh words the night before, promising a girls' night out to make it up to her. Lucinda confides she's seeing someone new, but swears this time she won't let anyone take advantage of her. Now and then, Conrad and Belly exchange glances, the tension impossible to ignore. This time, Jeremiah notices, even if he hides it well during the toasts. Belly thanks her parents, Stephen and Taylor, whom she calls her sister, and alongside Jeremiah, remembers Susanna. Jerry even thanks Conrad for being his brother.
Like most brothers, sometimes we're best friends. And other times, well. But man, you're loyal as hell. I really respect that. Brothers to the end.
When the toast ends, Adam tells Jeremiah that his spot is secure, sparking conflict in Belly, since he never discussed any of those decisions with her.
You know what? If working for your dad is what you want, then I want it for you too.
Afterward, Jeremiah and Belly decide to spend their last night as fiancés with ice cream. As if things weren't tense enough, Jeremiah invites Conrad, who's visibly on edge. Picking up on it, Jeremiah half jokes that he's looking forward to Conrad's toast as co-best man.
I'm doing my best, man. It's been a long 24 hours.
Excited for your speech tomorrow.
Later, Laurel talks to Conrad because she knows he loves Belly. Conrad admits he feels tortured, but has to put on a good face for his brother. Meanwhile, Denise and Steven share a moment over ice cream. They talk about the dinner and Adam's new relationship, unaware he had a mistress. Their closeness is undeniable, and they end up sharing a passionate kiss. But quickly they realize there's no real spark.
Like kissing a plant.
And that it's better to stay partners in business, not in love. That's how Steven and Denise's arc quietly comes to an end. Back home, Belly tries on her red swimsuit. She can't sleep. Her anxiety is tearing her apart between Conrad and the looming wedding she knows. Deep down, shouldn't happen, though she insists on going through with it. That anxiety drives her to Jeremiah's room, where she confesses what happened with Conrad. Jeremiah explodes, wanting to punch him. He begs Belly to stop protecting Conrad because he's not blind. He's seen the looks. They try to spend the night together, but everything feels broken. When Belly wakes, Jeremiah is gone. Like in the book, the end is closing in. Redbird tells Belly Jeremiah isn't with them. Anika hasn't seen him either. Hours pass, still no sign. Steven tries to calm her, thinking Jeremiah went surfing. But when Belly confesses about Conrad, Steven promises to find his friend and assures her everything will be fine. They'll marry and live together just as planned. But Steven lashes out at Conrad, blaming him for Jeremiah's disappearance. He admits he always knew Conrad wasn't over Belly, but scolds him for constantly running away. All Steven wants is to see his sister happy with Jeremiah, his best friend, who has never abandoned her.
Look, I know that somewhere in all your self-destructive bullshit, there's still a good guy. Okay, so I'm only gonna say this once. Fix what you broke. Find Jer.
Time drags on, and Jeremiah is still missing. Belly is on edge, though she hides it from Laurel. Laurel hands her the letter Susanna left for her wedding day, explaining Jeremiah has one too, and Conrad went to deliver it, and he does try. Finding Jeremiah at his mother's memorial, Conrad confronts him. Just like in the book, Jeremiah says he won't hit him because that would only let Conrad redeem himself. But he warns him that from that day on, he's no longer his brother. Conrad then reveals he knows about Cabo, which finally sets Jeremiah off, and he punches him.
Okay, good, can we go now?
Left with no choice, Conrad hands him the letter.
I love her, but she doesn't want me. She picked you.
But when Jeremiah reads it, he breaks down. It wasn't for him, but for Conrad. Susanna had always known Belly and Conrad were meant to be. Still, Conrad says once Jeremiah marries her, he'll disappear from their lives. Meanwhile, Belly is getting ready. Taylor walks in, telling her guests are already arriving, and things are getting messy. Belly insists Jeremiah will show, but Taylor knows better. She's seen how Belly's changed, how she's put Jer above everything. She tells her the wedding is a mistake, and deep down, Belly doesn't really want it.
I'm worried about you. I feel like you've completely lost yourself in Jer, and like that's not love, that's codependence.
Steven barges in, defending Taylor and calling Belly ungrateful, reminding her that Taylor has always been loyal. He tells her not to worry anymore. Jeremiah is back, but he wants to be alone. Then he finds his mother's ring, the one Conrad had asked for Belly. Later, Conrad says goodbye to Belly. She notices the bruise on his face and realizes he ran into Jeremiah. She tells him to leave, that she never wants to see him again. Conrad refuses, only to tell her he doesn't regret anything, not what he said, not what they had. He wishes her a good life with his brother.
A part of me always believed that we would find our way back to each other.
In the middle of all the farewells, Steven comforts Taylor, asking her to forgive Belly. Everything she said was out of stress. He confesses he loves her and insists they're the only healthy couple in this whole story. He promises there's nothing between him and Denise. With one look,
To be continued?
Yeah.
they both know they belong together. Eventually, Jeremiah returns. He tells Belly he's sorry for leaving, but he's back now. He doesn't want to talk about it, just move forward with the wedding. He admits he needed time, but disappearing for a whole day without saying anything wasn't mature at all. He knows he'll never truly have all of Belly, because she loves them both. Things boil over when he admits he knew about Christmas, that a neighbor told him. Angry, he confesses that's why they fought before Cabo. It was revenge. He cheated on her to get back at her. With sadness, Jeremiah admits she had every chance to call off the wedding, but when she didn't, he thought maybe, just maybe, he could finally have her completely. Now he knows he'll never have her heart the way Conrad did. He shows her Susanna's letter, saying it was meant for him, but it was actually for Conrad. Between heartbreak, sadness, and tears, they both know going through with the wedding would be a mistake. That's how it ends, just like in the book. With Taylor Swift's Cardigan playing, a symbol of a love once cherished and then forgotten, the story closes. Jeremiah accepts defeat with Steven by his side, while Belly does what she must. She grabs her suitcase, her dress, and heads to Paris. The chapter ends exactly like the book. There are moments in every girl's life that are bigger than we know at the time. When you look back, you say, that was one of those life-changing fork-in-the-road moments, and I didn't even see it coming. I had no idea. And then there are the moments that you know are big, that whatever you do next, there will be an impact. Your life could go in one of two directions, do or die. This was one of those moments. Big. They didn't get much bigger than this. It ended up not raining that day. Jeremiah's frat brothers and my actual brother moved the tables and chairs and hurricane vases in for nothing. Another thing that didn't happen that day, Jeremiah and I didn't get married. It wouldn't have been right, not for either of us. Sometimes I wondered if we had rushed into getting married because we were both trying to prove something to the other, and maybe even to ourselves. But then I think no, we truly did love each other. We truly did have the best of intentions. We just weren't meant to be. And just as Belly uses Laurel's gift card to buy her ticket to Paris, she sees Conrad because he's always there. From here though, the book's ending takes a different turn. Although at the end of the 8th episode, with Cardigan playing right at the moment when the line "and you came back to me" is sung, Belly doesn't go to Conrad. The boarding time pushes her forward, and just as Conrad turns to look, Belly is already gone. At that very moment, Adam calls Conrad to ask about Jer, wanting to know how he's doing, telling him that Jeremiah insists everything that happened was his own choice.
The wedding?
Yes, the wedding. What a mess. Hey, listen, I'm gonna be hung up here for a few more hours. You can take care of him, right?
And just like that, Conrad misses his second flight of the season. Meanwhile, Jeremiah is drowning himself in alcohol, encouraged by Redbird's reckless influence, who doesn't even hesitate to badmouth Belly in front of Steven.
Because my boy knows not to lock himself down, okay? And there's plenty of guys and girls out there hotter than Belly. Thank you.
That is my sister.
The only redeeming part of that night is Taylor finally swallowing her pride to talk to Steven. But as always, something gets in the way. Conrad shows up to take care of Jeremiah. To avoid conflict,
Frickin' vulture.
Okay, Steven, can you go inside and make sure that Jared doesn't wander out here?
Taylor asks Steven to leave her alone with Conrad, handling the situation more diplomatically than the others. She even tells him she spoke with Laurel, explaining that Belly had asked to be alone, promising she'd let her know as soon as she heard from her.
I mean, it's only like 50% your fault. The other half is on them.
Elsewhere, Laurel and Adam clash over the disaster that was the wedding. She lashes out at him for bringing his mistress to the event, sparking a heated argument.
How long did your daughter ice you out for this summer? 1 month? 2?
At least I didn't cave to the kids after 2 seconds.
Oh, I apologize for caring about my son.
Caring about my daughter is exactly why I tried to put a stop to this wedding. I knew it was a terrible idea.
If you knew so much, why'd you give in?
Because I didn't want to lose her. Because your other son begged me to. What do you want me to say? That I have no idea what I'm doing either? Is that what you want to hear right now?
Back with Jeremiah, Steven and Taylor stay by his side, trying to get him to eat the burger Conrad asked them to give him.
Well, at least you chose me over Belly.
I adore you, I really do, but I'm just here because Belly's still on silent mode.
Jeremiah, however, insists Belly is with Conrad, something Steven quickly denies.
I bet she's on a flight right now to California and curled up next to Conrad. You know I'm right.
On their way home, Jeremiah spirals again after reading the wedding announcement and asks to talk to Belly. But Steven and Taylor both know it's not a good idea. The truth is, Belly has no plans to return. She's already on a plane to Paris, still holding on to the engagement ring, which she decides to keep, realizing there's no point in clinging to a memory of something that never really happened. When she lands, she sees all the messages from everyone, but is interrupted at customs. She explains that she's there to study, though she doesn't have a student visa. Still, they confirm she's listed in the program. Her entry is approved, but only as a tourist. Belly walks alone through the airport as You're on Your Own, Kid by Taylor Swift plays, a song that perfectly mirrors this personal turning point, moving forward, picking yourself up, leaving behind what you knew, and starting over on your own. That's exactly what Belly does. She heads straight to the institute to begin her program, but when she arrives, the administrator informs her that her spot has already been given away. With nowhere to go, Belly leaves the building in tears, realizing her decision to leave didn't turn out the way she expected. She ends up calling Laurel to tell her she's in Paris. Laurel offers her the chance to come back, but Belly refuses. The fear of everyone hating her for what happened keeps her away. Laurel reassures her that even though Jeremiah is hurting, he truly believes they can overcome it, urging her to take a flight home.
Did I make a huge mistake?
Listen, I want you to go find a quiet place to sit down and then buy yourself a ticket on the next flight home. Use my card, I don't care what it costs.
Instead, Belly heads to a cafe with no intention of going back. The next morning, Jeremiah sees Steven and Taylor hugging. He asks for Steven's phone and realizes Belly hasn't called him.
Okay, well, I think you'll feel a lot better if you shower and put on some fresh clothes, you know?
My clothes.
are at the house. And I'm not going back there, not while he's there.
Meanwhile, she's still at the cafe, but things go from bad to worse when she looks away to pay. Her backpack is stolen.
It had a very, very valuable, very, very priceless ring. I cannot lose that ring.
If it was a priceless ring, you maybe should not have left it in your bag, no?
Back in Cousins, Laurel tries to talk to Jeremiah, who doesn't hold back from pouring out everything he feels.
I'm heartbroken for both of you.
It's bullshit. You never wanted Belly to marry me. You can go.
Please just let me in.
It cuts deep because despite it all, he still loves his mom. The only one he can lean on is Steven, who's still angry at Conrad and tells him not to go near his brother, blaming him for everything that's happened. Steven's words are harsh.
Why'd you say all that shit to my sister, huh? Why? You know what? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, it's done.
But Conrad never expected everyone to understand. Tensions rise, and not just there. In Paris, Belly is stressed about not finding her suitcase, but she refuses to give up, tracking it all the way to the train. In Cousins, Taylor drops by to push Jeremiah to eat. She admits she knows nothing about Belly. She also tells him she doesn't think his feelings are pathetic, which opens the door for them to talk about her relationship with Steven, still in its early stages.
I don't know what to do without her. I don't know how to be. She's everything. She's my whole life. How can I just let that go?
She's not your whole life, Jer. And if she is, then she shouldn't be.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I still feel like I'm waiting for her to walk through that door.
In Paris, Belly tries to get into a club, but can't without a password. Just then, she sees Gemma being harassed by a guy and pretends to know her to help her out. It works, and inside, Gemma introduces her to her friends, Celine, Benito, and his girlfriend Max. There, Belly spots the person who stole her backpack.
She's crazy, this is my bag!
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. This is your dress, huh? Don't go!
A guy who seems completely unhinged. She ends up hitting him, but luckily her new friends back her up, and it's clear Benito has a bit of an interest in her. Back in Cousins, Steven doesn't believe Conrad is still in love with Belly, reminding Taylor that their relationship was just high school. But Taylor, who now sees things clearly, insists his love is real, sharing what happened at Christmas.
Jeremiah slept with Lacey Barone over spring break.
Jeremiah cheated on Belly. I have been cleaning up that guy's tears for the past 24 hours, and he cheated on my sister with Lacey Barone. Who the fuck is Lacey Barone?
I mean, technically they were broken up, but yeah.
And why Jeremiah cheated on Belly. That's when they both realize their own relationship is far healthier than the rest. Taylor suggests that whatever they do this time, they should take it seriously. She confesses what happened at the hospital, and Steven admits he only said those things because that day it felt like she didn't want him around.
A person who shows up for the people she cares about. The person who isn't afraid to say the hard thing even when her best friend is being a total monster. But the thing is you are that person for your friends. Why can you not be that person for me?
That's just the only way that I know how to be. Like, with boys.
Through tears, they promise to give it a real chance, closing the chapter on their friendship and opening a new one, proving they're the only ones able to truly communicate and put their pride aside when it matters. In Paris, Belly opens up to her new friends about everything that happened since the wedding. None of them judge her, because in their own ways, they've all made enough mistakes to get stuck too. Belly thanks them, but decides it's time to head back, convinced there's nothing left for her in the States. As she says her goodbyes and boards a bus, she slips the ring back on and calls Jeremiah. He suggests they stay together, but without marriage in the future. Belly tells him she needs to find herself again and doesn't want to hurt him anymore. At this point, Belly hurts Jeremiah, but she's being honest. She left the country, she spoke to him, she never mentioned Conrad, and she asked for space. The first thing Jeremiah says is, "I don't ever want to see you again." That moment makes it clear their marriage would have eventually ended in disaster.
I
I think I need to find the person that I can be without you.
Yeah, that's great. You do that. Just don't fucking call me again.
While that drama is put on pause, Steven and Taylor celebrate their relationship in bed. Meanwhile, Jeremiah comes home to find Conrad, who insists he stayed not for Belly, but for him. Enraged, Jeremiah tells him to go back to California and never come back.
Hey, did you hear that, Belly's in Paris? What?
We.
Oh, so she didn't call you? Only me. Well, I guess that's something.
What do you mean? What do you mean she's in Paris?
God, I love that I'm the one that gets to tell you this.
This pushes Conrad to confront Adam, asking him to talk to his son, but Adam, cynical as ever, says he doesn't know how to deal with that kind of thing.
We both know I'm not good at that kind of thing. That's why I asked you to take care of him.
Trust me, it's the last thing he needs right now.
Hey, whatever Jerry might have done to screw this up, he's your brother. Just cut him some slack.
Conrad tells him flat out that it's all his fault, that he's still in love with Belly, that he wished the wedding hadn't happened, and that his brother's hatred is the price he'll pay forever. After his confession, another Taylor Swift song plays How Did It End? A haunting metaphor of an emotional post-mortem, dissecting a failed relationship as though it were an autopsy. Searching for what went wrong, it stirs something in Adam, pushing him to seek out the one son he can still comfort, because with Conrad, he never gave that kind of love, tainted instead by rejection and the bad choices he made with their mother.
When your mom was sick, when we lost her, it killed me watching you carry all that. But you treated me like the enemy.
Do we really have to do this right now?
Well, what I'm saying is, you're my son and I wanted to be there for you, but you wouldn't let me.
Because you made everything worse.
Exactly. And I had to live with that. You have people who love you, and I trusted that you would lean on them, and you did. And so will he.
And once again, Conrad is left alone, just like Belly, who knows from now on she has to rebuild herself. With this scene, we can already sense what's coming. The moment Jeremiah goes looking for her, these next 3 episodes will be all about that. Belly's journey to find herself. Jeremiah will probably try everything to win her back, but both of them need to heal on their own. Even Conrad, who in the following episode begins writing the letters, while Belly remains, unmistakably, alone. Thanksgiving has arrived. Belly is still in Paris, now with a job and living in an apartment with Romain, a rather serious French guy, Manon, a French girl who reminds everyone that Thanksgiving was basically a genocide, and another roommate who isn't really into American holidays either. Of course, Belly can handle it, even with a broken heart.
Weak and homesick, and I'm really bad at French.
She struggles with the language, takes things day by day, and not everyone is as kind as back home. There's no better soundtrack than I Can Do It with a Broken Heart, because even though Belly is crying inside, she pushes forward. She's juggling 2 jobs, one at the movies and one at a bar, while still practicing her French. As time passes, the loneliness starts creeping in, and all she wants is to go home, knowing that right at this hour, while she's eating her awful stuffing, her family is probably already sitting down for dinner.
Pretty good. Last year was pretty good. You know, they're probably all sitting down to eat soon.
At your home?
No, they're all spread out this year. My brother's hosting a Friendsgiving with my best friend and my ex.
Friendsgiving?
She tells her new friends that Steven is still with Taylor and that they've planned a Friendsgiving. Manon, Celine, and Max encourage her to go back home, even if just for the holidays, but Belly knows nothing has really changed. She's afraid of falling back into old habits. What she really needs is to shift her mindset and change how she's living. Back home, she finally receives the letters, but before opening them, she calls Taylor. They talk about the pies her mom always sends, and how happy she is to be celebrating with Steven. Apparently they're living together now, and their relationship looks stronger than ever.
We got 5 minutes. Take your top off, leave the skirt on. Come on.
Oh my God.
Steven,
Belly?
Yeah, Dingus, I'm FaceTiming with your sister right now.
Taylor asks Belly if she's coming for Christmas, but Belly flips the question and invites Taylor to Paris instead. What Taylor doesn't tell her is that Jeremiah is spending the holidays there too, and that he supposedly still misses Belly.
Hey, Brett, you mind taking your shoes off, actually? Yeah?
Wow. Hey, Brett.
You're a dick.
Hey, don't, come on. Don't be like that. Please. It's not like
We're
that.
done.
Really?
Come on, man, let's talk. Come inside, let's eat. It's not really what it looks like.
I'm leaving. Asshole.
You need serious help.
Hey, where'd you go?
She's probably getting her coat.
Dude, stop hooking up with my colleagues.
Stop hooking up with my friends.
Yeah, maybe process your emotions and feelings, I don't know, with people we don't know?
Yeah.
Yeah?
You know what? It's Friendsgiving. 2 people are gone.
Please don't shit where we eat.
Though in his own complicated way, just like he did back in Cabo, Taylor later tells Steven that she's planning to go to Paris by the end of the year to be with Belly. Just hearing Belly's name throws Jer completely off. He's been avoiding everything and has basically moved in with Steven, ignoring Conrad's constant messages. Another guest at the gathering is Denise, who shows up with Adam, an unexpected visit just like Redbird's, whose personal opinion really should have just been a silent portrait on the wall.
Steven and Taylor's help, they made the mashed potatoes.
You're welcome.
Mashed potatoes, not bomb.
You can leave.
Adam is clearly disappointed. Jeremiah has quit his job and dropped out of college, sparking a fight between the two.
Then you told me my credit history is ruined forever because I had the nerve to back out of an apartment that I was supposed to share with my wife. So yeah, I lied about going to school. Go ahead, tell me how much of a fuck up I am. Tell me how you're just burning money from my dead-end future. Aren't I? Not everything is about money, Dad.
You're right. It's not. So let's take it out of the equation.
What?
Cutting you off.
Jared thinks he's won the argument, but neither Denise, Taylor, nor Steven take his side. All three tell him he needs to find a job and start standing on his own. This is where a strange new bond forms between Denise and Jer. He's going to stay with her for a week, since Steven is ready to have his space back, and maybe, just maybe, Denise is exactly the kind of influence Jer needs to finally grow up. Meanwhile, Laurel is spending the holidays with John, which is a good sign for their relationship. During dinner, she gets a call from Conrad, who is nervous about attending the holiday celebrations where his brother and Belly might be. Laurel tells him she isn't going back and encourages him to take the risk and go after Belly himself.
I was thinking about, I don't know, I was thinking about maybe reaching out to her or something. Do you think that she would even want to hear from me?
I don't know, Connie. I can't speak for Belly.
No, yeah.
But if you really want to know if she's ready to talk, you're gonna have to risk finding out for yourself.
Oh boy, you sound like my therapist. Always telling me I need to get better at uncertainty. That I need to stop trying to control everything.
After hanging up, Conrad looks at that photo from the 90s party. It's obvious he hasn't gotten over Belly, and just like he once said, maybe he never will. That's what pushes him to write the letter. In it, he tells her how often he imagines her life in Paris, sharing it with Benito, going out partying at night, becoming this true Parisian girl, eating her favorite sweets. On Christmas Eve, Belly tries reaching out to Jeremiah, but no luck. Just like Conrad, he refuses to answer. She ends up drinking alone and dancing when Benito, who was supposed to be in London with his friends, walks in. He couldn't make the trip because of the weather, so he decides to spend the night with Belly instead. What we see is that Benito pushes Belly out of her comfort zone, challenging her to make decisions, and it's clear there's mutual attraction. He even teaches her how to ride his Vespa.
Streets are empty. Stop snowing. Teach me how to drive.
On Christmas, the party is at Laurel's house, where Steven and Conrad spend time playing video games, like old times, though Steven is noticeably more serious with him. He makes it clear he doesn't hate Conrad, he just doesn't know how to deal with him after all the wedding drama.
You know, ever since he got that job, he does seem better.
Yeah. That's what Taylor said.
Taylor? Yeah, it is crazy to me that you guys still talk.
I know. It's kind of a weird twist of fate that the only person who texts me back is Taylor Jewell, but...
Yeah.
Their conversation shifts to Jeremiah's new financial stability. Right then, Steven gets a message from the company that had been funding his startup with Denise. And even though he thinks Adam isn't listening, it's obvious Adam had a hand in pushing him to quit.
No,
I'm impressed you have the balls.
Well, actually, no, it was Denise who had the balls.
Not surprising. All right. See you at work on January 2nd. No hard feelings.
Yeah. Actually, Adam, I quit.
What?
Upstairs, in Belly's room, Conrad can't resist stepping inside. Memories rush back as he sees the old teddy bear that has been a constant presence throughout their story. That night, Jeremiah finally shows up, but as usual, he can't bring himself to go inside, so Laurel has to meet him outside. She tells him that he hasn't lost everything, that everyone still sees him as family, softening the sting of what was said that day at the wedding. She reminds him that Belly wants to talk to him, but that he needs to take his time, and now that he's standing on his own 2 feet, he doesn't want to keep being a disappointment. He asks Laurel to hold on to the food and gifts until he's ready to face everyone again. It's a painful but mature choice, because he knows that walking in would only make things harder. His life has been turned upside down.
You can take the carrots and the presents. I'm not ready to go in there yet.
Okay. Just text me when you get home.
Hey, I love you, Laura.
I love you too.
And he knows he needs to focus on healing first. Jeremiah goes back to Denise's place, where he ended up staying much longer than just a week. She tells him that Adam has already found out about the business she and Steven were running, and that they've lost their jobs. Jer isn't surprised at all by his father's actions. Denise changes the subject, asking about Jer's feelings. She reminds him that losing a partner is its own kind of grief, almost like a death. Jer agrees, saying that losing Belly hurt even more than losing Susanna, because unlike his mom, Belly didn't die. They also talk about Denise's own feelings. She confesses that what she had with Steven was never serious, because when she truly falls in love, she loves with her whole heart.
Accept what's happened. Forgive yourself. Forgive her. Forgive Conrad. Forgive all the people who hurt you. You know, not because they deserve your forgiveness, but because the longer you hold on to it, the longer it holds power over you. And fuck other people holding power over you.
This new connection between them leads Denise to invite Jared to her family's party, and once again we see their growing closeness. Denise shows up in a red dress, and we know Jenny Han doesn't do things by accident. Red is the color of love, and it's clear something is going to happen between them. The book made it pretty clear, after all. Meanwhile, Taylor finally arrives in Paris. She and Belly spend the whole day together, and Benito joins them too. At the New Year's party, Taylor tells Belly that after graduation, she and Steven are going to live together, news that makes Belly genuinely happy. They also talk about Benito and how attractive Taylor finds him, suggesting Belly shouldn't let him slip away. Right then, Jeremiah decides to call Belly, thanks to Denise's words. This is the moment Jeremiah finds the closure he's been needing, the maturity he was missing. He and Belly never truly belonged to each other, not really, and now Jer, standing more independently, is the best version of himself.
I want you to know that I'm good. Really. And I hope you're good too.
I am.
Your break ended 90 seconds ago.
Sounds like you're busy. I should probably let you go.
Yeah, I should probably let you go too.
At the party, Taylor and Belly enjoy themselves with all of Belly's roommates' friends. Benito hands Belly the package Conrad sent, and just as we expected, it's the gummy bears and the teddy bear. When Taylor sees the letter, she realizes that's why Belly hasn't been able to fully move on. Belly says she hasn't written back, insisting those letters aren't love letters, but that's not the real reason she's hesitant with Benito. The truth is she doesn't want to hurt him. Taylor advises her to give Benito a chance. She can't stay stuck in the past. The Fisher brothers era is over, and Benito deserves a shot. The next morning, Belly wakes up next to Benito.
I should go.
Wait. You don't have a few minutes?
Time passes, and Belly helps Gemma move out while talking about Benito. She'll soon be joining him in Mexico for his grandmother's party. Big changes are coming. Belly will have to move out of her apartment and decide whether to return or not. Gemma offers to take over the lease, but Belly isn't sure what she wants yet. Belly later tells Laurel that although her visa is about to expire, she's considering enrolling in a university program because she knows how much work she still needs to do on herself. She wants Laurel to know how happy she is in Paris. Laurel replies that she wants her home, but more than anything, she wants her to be happy. She knows that living in Paris has been transformative for Belly, so much so that she even forgot Susanna's death anniversary, something Susanna herself would have loved. Knowing Belly is out there truly living, this memory brings Belly back to a conversation with Susanna about her honeymoon and how much she loved gelato. In Cousins, Jeremiah visits his mom's grave and runs into Conrad. Jer calls him out for sabotaging the wedding, but Conrad insists that wasn't his intention. Conrad fires back, asking why Jer slept with someone else, and Jer defensively says he did it because he and Belly had spent Christmas together, an excuse that doesn't justify what happened. Conrad reminds him that when he and Belly broke up, Jer proposed to her barely a month later, and even though it hurt, he had to accept it, thinking of all the promises they made to their mom.
You wanted Belly back, so you found a way to take her.
You can't take someone, Jer. She's not a fucking object. And the only reason that there was any wedding to break up was because you were afraid of losing her. As if a ring could make someone yours.
Fuck you.
The brothers realize that, despite everything, they'll always be brothers, and they'll always need each other. During the conversation, Jeremiah asks if Conrad and Belly have spoken, but Conrad says he's only sent letters, no reply, and then the one starts playing. Just as we suspected, it's Conrad. He writes Belly another letter, thinking maybe she's thrown the others away, telling her that he and Jeremiah have made peace. But Belly hasn't thrown anything away, she's just moved forward. She doesn't need to read the letters. Her life has taken a new direction with new plans, including that upcoming trip to Mexico to enjoy some authentic chilaquiles, because Benito knows there's no better breakfast.
My grandma makes the best chilaquiles in the entire world.
As Conrad's voice continues to narrate his letter, we see Belly muster the courage to finally send him a postcard with her new address. By June, Dr. Nemesi has given Conrad another chance and is taking him to Brussels, a city close to Paris. In the very last moments, we see Belly walking through her Paris, now fully her own, while Conrad buys a ticket to the city. The price doesn't matter, he needs to go. Belly, meanwhile, has changed her look and put on red lipstick. She's ready for a brand new summer. It's an ending that leaves us with Conrad's arrival in Paris, and that leaked scene with Jeremiah may be just a red herring to throw us off. And so, the story reaches a turning point. Belly is in a Paris that is finally starting to feel like hers, full of new challenges, new opportunities, and a path very different from the one she once imagined. Jeremiah, more self-aware, is learning to walk on his own, while Conrad finally decides to take the step he's avoided for too long. Each one of them is moving forward in their own way. Their paths cross, separate, and cross again, but they remain inevitably connected, and as summer approaches, one thing becomes clear: nothing will ever be the same, but the future, uncertain as it may be, is full of new possibilities. The very first thing Conrad sees when he gets to Paris is that postcard, but no matter how long he waits, Belly doesn't show. When she finally does, she's with Benito, rocking a brand new haircut. The worst part? Conrad catches her in the middle of a Parisian fling, and instead of walking away, he actually approaches her.
Conrad.
Surprise!
Give me a hug. Come here.
Conrad tells her he knows her birthday is the next day, but his conference in Brussels means he won't be able to spend it with her. Belly, a bit surprised, says she'll stay with him until his last train and pretend to be a tourist, because at this point, she's basically a Parisian herself. Contrary to what you'd expect, Belly doesn't invite Conrad in. She just grabs his suitcase to take it back to her apartment so she can take a breath, put on the boldest red lipstick she owns, because love has officially arrived. But when she catches her reflection in the mirror, she realizes she's feeling something much deeper. Meanwhile, Jeremiah is still living with Denise. He's now famous for his recipes and has gone viral on TikTok as the hottest up-and-coming chef. In a calmer, more mature moment, Jared tells Denise that he knows Conrad is with Belly, and even though it might hurt, he feels surprisingly at peace.
Okay, but are you good?
Yeah. I think the anticipation was the worst part. But now that the Belly-Conrad reunion is finally happening, it's not that bad.
This is the Jerry we've been waiting for, one who finally thinks about someone other than himself and his feelings. He even tells Denise he wants to buy her a couch, not for himself to sleep on, but so she won't hurt her back when she works. That's when Denise drops the news. She's moving to California with Steven. Jared smiles and tells her he's genuinely happy for her. Denise asks him not to say anything to Taylor yet, since Steven hasn't told her, but unfortunately for them, Taylor overhears everything.
I guess everything's just fucked. It's just fucked.
Taylor, please wait. I'm sorry.
But the drama in Boston doesn't stop Paris from being romantic. Belly and Conrad spend their days sightseeing, and of course, there's something between them. They're tied by the red string of fate, even if Belly tries to deny it. Conrad can't stop looking at her the whole time. While deciding what to do next, Conrad finally gathers the courage to ask about Belly's life in Paris. But before he leaves, all he wants is to see her Paris, not the one the tourists see.
I've spent a lot of time imagining your life here. And I guess, I don't know, I'll do anything. But I wish that I could see Paris the way that you do.
Back in Boston, Taylor is furious. She just landed a job there and doesn't think it's fair to give it up just to follow Steven. Jerry asks everyone to focus so they can present the food, which inspires Denise to suggest hosting it at her beach house. The only problem? Jerry hasn't set foot there since the wedding that never was. Denise asks Taylor to keep quiet so Jerry can land this program, since Taylor's job basically depends on it.
Okay, hi, hey. You got this. I will help you.
No, you're right. I'm calm. I am focused. Okay? Like a fucking laser, and we're just gonna do it.
Back in Paris, things turn beautifully intimate. Belly opens up about how this place helped her put herself back together after everything that happened. Conrad says he understands, giving her an analogy that ties it all back to the human body and how it works. Belly admits it took her a whole year to step out of her comfort zone. She even struggled with something as simple as buying laundry detergent. Just from looking at him, she asks Conrad to stay for her birthday celebration with her friends. Conrad doesn't want to impose, but Belly is very sure she wants him there. For the first time, things seem to be going right between them.
I don't want to intrude on...
It wouldn't be an intrusion. Just some friends throwing me a little pre-birthday dinner.
Oh.
Yeah, you should come. It'll be fun. And it'll be nice to have an old friend there.
Are you sure? Yeah.
But back in Cousins, chaos reigns. Taylor is stressed, not just about impressing her boss, but also about everything Steven has been hiding. Seeing him fills her with anger, so she pretends she wants to redecorate the apartment and even adopt a cat. And while Steven and Taylor are fan favorites,
Let's maybe just, take like a beat on that.
Yeah,
thing.
take a beat, you dick.
What do you... Listen, oh my God, okay, if it's that important to you, okay, let's get a cat. I just think that maybe we're not ready for it.
Okay, I can't with you right now. I just lost my entire waitstaff.
they honestly gave us more than Conrad and Belly ever did. This is still their ending we're here for. In Paris, things move slowly but surely. Conrad waits for Belly to finish her shower, wandering through her room and spotting photos with Benito. The jealousy is obvious, but therapy has grounded Conrad enough to keep his emotions in check. Instead, he focuses on Mint Jr., remembering the time he gave it to Belly. When she steps out, he can't help but tell her how beautiful she looks, cranking up the sexual tension even more.
You look really beautiful.
Thank you.
At the party, Conrad meets all of Belly's friends, from her roommates to Celine and Gemma, who fight over who gets to claim best friend status. Everything goes smoothly until Benito arrives. Conrad pretends to be unaffected, even when Benito gives Belly a gift.
We've heard everything about you. You're like a legend in Paris.
Legend, huh?
During dinner, Gemma gushes about how romantic it was when Conrad confessed his love to Belly the day before the wedding. Max points out that maybe he could have waited, but Celine speaks up and says exactly what everyone on different teams was already thinking.
It's like something out of a movie. Half the people looking at the screen, screaming, do it, Conrad. And the other half are all like, ah! No! Don't do it! Don't do it!
Benito, for his part, is jealous too. He even tells Conrad that there are direct flights from California to Brussels. But contrary to what you'd think, he and Belly are no longer together. Gemma clarifies that Benito is just still bitter about being dumped, but now they're just good friends. This is all Conrad needs to feel free to be direct, without feeling like he's stepping on anyone's toes.
Well, you'll always be the boy who taught me how to ride a scooter, so.
Hey, I'll always be the boy who taught you how to ride a bike.
Back in Cousins, the drama focuses on Jer's big dinner. After losing all his waiters, his frat brothers have to step in and help, and to make things worse, the suppliers sent the wrong products and forgot others entirely. When Steven shows up, he notices Taylor wants nothing to do with him. Jer has no choice but to come clean and admit that Taylor already knows everything, and as if Cousins wasn't dramatic enough, Denise drops another bomb. Jer's father is here. The moment Jer sees him, he swears the place is cursed.
So fucked. This dinner's falling apart, and now my dad's here to watch it blow up in my face.
Hey, it's gonna be fine.
No, I never should have come back here. You know, being in this house again makes me feel like the same loser I was when I walked out that door last summer. This place is just cursed.
In Paris, there's a sense of comfort. Conrad is sitting right next to Belly, and the flirting is impossible to ignore. The tension between them is palpable. Conrad leans in and bluntly asks if Benito is her boyfriend.
Not your boyfriend.
I never said he was.
All while they're sharing a cigarette, the kind that feels like a peace offering. But we leave the Parisian sensuality behind and head back to Cousins, where the ever-annoying Adam tells Laurel that Kaylee broke up with him. John admits that he's single too, so Adam suggests they go on a singles cruise, just to have wild, no-strings-attached sex. Back with Conrad and Belly, Conrad hands her a small vial filled with sand from Cousins Beach.
And it makes me feel closer to everybody.
When the cake arrives, memories come rushing back to Belly, and all she needs to do is look at Conrad. But this finale has no shortage of romance. So we return to Cousins, where Taylor and Steven are in the middle of an argument. Their relationship is starting to crack. Taylor moved to Boston for him, and now it looks like she might have to follow him to California. The fight ends in a kiss, because deep down, they both know they're meant to be together, and that California is where they belong.
What do you say? You really just pack up and move to California for me? I mean...
Not for you, with you.
Back in Paris, Conrad teases Belly, asking if he has to call her Isabel, now like everyone else does, but she refuses. She wants to keep being Belly for him. Conrad confesses that when she first left for Paris, he thought she was just running away from everything, and that she'd eventually come back. But now he sees she wasn't hiding. She was building a life in the city she's always loved. Conrad tells her Jared knows he's in Paris, and even wished him luck.
And he's okay with that?
I don't know, he said good luck.
Like, good luck. Or like, good luck. There's a full moon tonight.
I like being under the same moon as you again.
Belly, wanting to break the tension, says she wants to take him somewhere else. Since we're closing loops, we check back in with Jer and Denise. He offers her a taste of his dessert, and she beams with pride, telling him to stop comparing himself to Conrad, that his obsession with his brother needs to end.
You're the one who is obsessed with him. And I don't know why, you're a fucking 10.
I'm a 10?
Oh my God. Okay, please don't pretend that you don't know you're gorgeous, all right? You're basically a model.
She even admits she finds him physically beautiful. In the heat of the moment, they talk about Steven and Taylor, who have worked things out, which makes Jerry think about Belly.
she gave up on that for me. And I let her. Just because I didn't want to be alone.
And the time she refused to go to Paris, overcome with emotion, Jared kisses Denise because their relationship is rooted in growth, and they both know it's real. When the dinner ends, Jerry thanks everyone. Adam has a heart-to-heart with him, and just like that, we close this redemption arc.
I'm so proud of what you pulled off tonight. Okay, but I'm not surprised. I mean, I've always known what you're capable of. I've always been proud of you. I thought that went without saying.
For the Fisher family, at least for Jer and Adam, that night, under the Paris moonlight, Conrad asks Belly to dance, just like they did at graduation. When everything between them fell apart, they both admit how immature they were in some of their choices. Belly says it feels like that was a lifetime ago, but that his letters gave her strength. To Conrad's surprise, Belly read them constantly. The reason she took so long to write back was because she knew she had to let go of the past first. And then, just as Taylor Swift's Dress starts playing, yes, that song.
Have you moved on?
Our secret moments in a crowded room.
The meaning is crystal clear. If Taylor wanted her clothes off when she wrote it, Belly and Conrad want the exact same thing. This time they're older, wiser, more passionate, and completely in love, letting themselves give in to the moment, and in the most romantic way possible, they make love, because deep down, they've always belonged to each other. Afterwards, Belly admits that every birthday wish she ever made was for him, but she also knows this may not be a forever, and Conrad feels the same, as if this could be the ending of it all. They love each other.
Thanks, like it'll be forever.
But their lives feel worlds apart. When Belly steps out of the bathroom, she insists that he go. Conrad tells her he doesn't love her just because his mother wanted him to.
Is everything okay? Did I do something?
His love is real. Belly wonders if all of this has been about Susanna's death, if that's why she longs for him. But Conrad insists that isn't why he loves her. Through tears, he says he tried not to love her, that what he feels has nothing to do with Susanna.
You don't love me anymore?
I've always loved you. That's the problem.
I really think that's the problem.
And that even if he met her for the very first time today, he would love her just the same, with no other choice. Conrad says he's leaving for Brussels. Belly lets him go, again, heartbroken. Belly stares at a photo her mother sent her, realizing she's never really stopped being the same girl she's always been. Seeing Mint Jr. and the infinity necklace. She knows Conrad is, and always will be, her endgame, but by the time she calls out to him, he's gone. As Out of the Woods plays, Belly runs through the Paris streets, like her life depends on it. Finally reaching the train station, Conrad is still there, lost in thought.
Conrad, I choose you of my own free will.
Staring out the window, just when it seems like everything is lost, there he is. Belly shows him her infinity necklace, their silent way of sealing their fate. Meanwhile, Cousins is finally at peace, calm, familiar, safe. Everyone seems to have found their place and made their choices. Steven and Taylor accept each other for who they are. Jared grows up and finds someone just as passionate as he is. Belly and Conrad keep moving forward together. They don't go back to Cousins for a long time, but when they finally do, Conrad never stops looking at her. Belly in her signature yellow dress walks by his side back to the beach house, the place that held all their promises of what summer could be. Belly and Conrad together, just as it was always meant to be. And at last, we see them spending Christmas in Paris. Belly smiling like never before, Conrad completely happy, closing out 3 full seasons with Olivia Rodrigo, Ariana Grande, Harry Styles, and Taylor Swift on the soundtrack. back, and a heartfelt letter from Jenny Han, thanking the fans for sticking around until the very end. And no, we don't see Belly and Conrad's wedding, but we don't need to. They chose each other, and that's what really mattered.